The STEM Society.
Welcome back to the STEM Society. My name is Cole Jackson. This is your weekly check-in. This is where I usually give you guys some album reviews from what released this past weekend. I seen B-Dot's list this week, and he just did the list of best rappers. I wanted to take it a step further and get into best rapper, best album of the year, get into most underrated album, and I wanted to talk about the best new artist. So that's everything I'm talking about today. Before I get too deep into the video, make sure you guys are liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel. If you want to continue to support me and support the channel, that's all I'm asking you to do. In 2025, most new artists are either burnt out, they're garbage, or they're saying the same thing that they said somewhere else. Nothing original, no lyrical ability, none of that. These two artists right here, I have listened to their music, and they both have been making some waves here recently in the space. Ray Vaughn is one of the best new artists that nobody is talking about right now. Or if you're talking about him, you're not talking about him enough. Ray Vaughn has been setting the fucking hip-hop scene on fire here recently, and I just feel like he should be up for best new artist. We should be talking about him more. He's out of the West Coast, so a lot of people discount his lyrical ability. But if you sit down and listen to his mixtape, I guarantee you'll understand why I feel like he's the best new artist in 2025. And then when we come across the water, Nims. Nims has his second tape out, and he is taking the UK drill sound and making it a lot more mainstream. Now, I'm not taking away from people like Skepta or anything like that. He's not reinventing the wheel, but I'm saying Nims has the younger generation over here like really rocking with his shit. Not to mention that he's done features with Central C, M Huncho, and he just dropped a song with Lotto, which I think is a banger. Nims is actually rhyming off of a Tay Keith beat, which I never thought I would hear, but he's doing it at a very good rate. And on top of that, all of this is being done independently. He is an independent artist, and that's something that you don't see every day. Somebody who's just coming off the porch and actually making his way through the mainstream side of things independently. Picking two artists might seem like something that I shouldn't be doing, but you got to remember, I'm living in the UK right now, and the UK rap scene is bubbling, and I still love my US artists, and I just needed to make sure I pick both of them because they're both two new artists that's making a lot of noise and more people should be talking about. But those are my picks for the best new rappers of 2025. B-Dot just dropped his list for best rapper of 2025 so far, and all I could do was laugh at it. It is a laughable list, and it needs to be reshuffled. And anytime B-Dot wants to sit down with me and reshuffle his list, we can work on it together. I had to sit down and pick my best rapper using the criteria of best verses, consistency, and skill. And I think I came up with probably the only choice or the most obvious choice out of everybody that's been mentioned on B-Dot's list or people have been talking about on the timeline. It's Big Sean. Big Sean is really making his case for being rapper of the year. Think about these verses I'm about to name for you guys. The show-stealing verse on Lil Wayne's The Carter 6 when he was on Sharks. His Red Bull One Take Cypher verse where he led off and he was with Joey Badass and Ab Soul. And then think about the verse he just dropped with Leon Thomas's Mutt Deluxe. Those are just three. He's got a couple more in the tuck right now. Now, a lot of you guys will be saying, hey, man, what about Larry June? Or what about 2 Chainz? Or what about Ransom? Or what about Joey Badass? I've listened to everybody's stuff. I'm always listening to their music. But at the end of the day, Big Sean just sounds motivated. Big Sean doesn't sound like he's coasting this year. He actually sounds like he got something to prove. And that's a good thing, especially after 2024 and his album him dropping an album and it kind of getting consumed by the Kendrick and Drake beef. Also, it didn't have the best reception. A lot of people was not dealing with that positive stuff he was saying on there. And I get it. He wanted to just give a piece of him and show him that he's turned a new leaf. But this year, these verses, these features, it sounds like he's doing something different. Like it's just hitting different. And that's what I like. I like that Big Sean. I like to hear Big Sean get into his bag. I like when Big Sean gets versatile. I like when he shows how he can out-rap everybody in the room. And that's why I have to put him at the best rapper of the year so far. I would love to hear Big Sean put out like a 6-track EP rapping like he is right now because nobody's doing it like him. And I know you guys are saying, man, what about Ransom, man? Y'all sitting up here talking about all this bullshit. Ransom out here, Boldy James out here. They are both on a run. It's just something about hearing Big Sean rap like he's been rapping this year. I'll even go to the Icewear Vizzo Worth Something verse that he's got. He has been just hitting on all cylinders, and he has just been impressing me throughout this whole year. I know B Dot put Larry June at number one, and I kind of get where he's coming from, but nobody's rapping like Big Sean in 2025. You just have to sit down and listen to what he's been saying with the entendres, with him sitting up here hitting his punchlines. Everything that Big Sean has been doing this year has been hitting on all cylinders, and we gotta get his man his credit for doing what he's supposed to been doing in 2024. So that's why Big Sean is my rapper of the year so far in 2025. 2025, the UK rap scene has been growing, it's been thriving, it's bubbling. Like something good is going to come out of this. Now, I thought it was going to be this year when everybody globally would acknowledge how great the UK rap scene is. But I think we got a little bit more time to let it cook. And next year, I think everybody everywhere will understand what I know, and that's how great the UK rap scene is. To start off with best album and album of the year, Little Sims, Lotus. I think that album it's only been out for a week, and I'm already saying it's the best album of the year. With the themes of the album, the storytelling, and the production, she just put on a masterclass, and she's probably been on one of the best 3 album runs out of any artist globally. She just dropped a masterpiece. I know I keep saying that word, but if you listen to this album like I listen to this album, you'll easily come to my side of things. That album is Lotus is wonderful. Great album. She put her heart and soul into it, and it's just a beautiful mix of spoken word with production and rap. It is one big ball of emotion that's very relatable. And that's something that I like in my rap too, relatable. But she just took all of these different things and put them together on this album. And I know a lot of people are like Central C, Central C, Central C. And I think that's cool. And I know that people are really rooting for this Central C album to be big because of the American crossover situation. But I honestly tell you right now, the best album that I've heard this year out of the UK, and I've only listened to, it's only been out a week, is Little Sims Lotus. You have to listen to it. Central C is great, but it ain't enough meat on the bone when it comes to best album of this year. Which leads me into the most underrated album this year. Prof's Hurt the New Sexy is a great album. I didn't know anything about this artist when I picked up the tape. I didn't really think that he was going to give me anything. I just wanted to just get my UK knowledge up. His debut tape is so accessible, it's lyrically strong, and it's a great beginning to a long career he's going to have here. It's a personal favorite of mine. I think that Prof has a long career coming. He's going to do a secret show tomorrow, which didn't know about it, wasn't able to get tickets, which sucked. But I want to see him live. Like his lyrical ability is great. Is storytelling wonderful. The production, this album is self-produced. He produced this all on his own, and it is wonderful. And I have to give somebody credit who takes the time out to craft the album and put their own spin on it and make it good enough for everybody outside of their circle to like it. And if you haven't listened to Prof's Hurt the New Sexy, you're missing out on one of the best UK albums that came out this year. Super underrated. I don't know why any of these UK platforms aren't talking about it. I don't even see the UK platforms talking about Little Sims album. Like y'all are hung up on Lotto being over here, which is great. It's cool. She's here. She's kicking it. But you guys need to start pushing your own music a little bit more. And these are 2 albums that need to be talked about on your platforms. Y'all too busy fighting over how good Central C is. So let me get out of the weeds because I'm babbling and I'm getting a little bit too upset. But if you want 2 great UK rap albums that came out in 2025, Little Sims Lotus is a must listen, and Prof's Hurt the New Sexy is one of the most underrated gems you will find in UK rap. 2025 has been the year of coasting. I'm just being honest with you. We haven't got a J. Cole album yet. We still waiting on the clips to drop, and this ever elusive ASAP Rocky album that I'm not really wanting to hear, but everybody's been anticipating it. There's 2 albums that have been super underrated these first 6 months of the year, and we need to be talking about them more. I'll start off with the obvious one, Rayvon's The Good, the Bad, the Dollar Menu. I feel like y'all keep shitting on this kid because he's part of TDE and not because he's not a good rapper. See, everybody's been caught up in the Drake Kendrick beef for so long that they forget just because you out of the West Coast don't mean you can't be lyrical. You might disagree with me saying that his album is underrated, but let me just make my point real quick. Rayvon delivered a mixtape that's raw, emotional, and has great storytelling. And his lyrical ability on there proves that he is one of the best new artists coming out right now. A lot of people have compared this album to Section 80, and I know that's blasphemous, but when you get down to the root of what Section 80 is about, and you get down to the root of what Rayvon's The Good, the Bad, Dollar Menu is about, it's technically you're talking about the same thing. This is his origin story. This is where we find out who he is, and he's gonna build from there. And I think that's the best part about this album. We get the origin story out of the way so we can move into him going into his career as being one of the best TDE artists that came out. I know I'm swinging for the fences when I say that, but I'm guaranteeing you, he has the lyrical ability, he has the energy, and he has the storytelling ability to be able to be one of the best TDEs came out, especially for the newer generation. You team that up with somebody like Doechii, you're getting something that's going to be lasting for a long time for TDE. Like I look at Schoolboy, I look at Ab Soul, and they're leaning towards fading out the game for a little bit. And that's not a diss. That's just letting you know that it's time for us to kind of turn the chapter or turn the page into what the new artists are talking about. Rayvon is going to be talked about as much as Kendrick was talked about on TDE. I'm telling you this because I know it. My ears don't lie to me, especially when it comes to an album like this. The mixtape doesn't get as much attention because it's a West Coast mixtape, because you guys got caught up in the Joey Badass back and forth. But if you sit down, since everything is calmed down, and give that album a listen, I promise you, you will be impressed by what Rayvon has been showing you all this time. Now, let me dive into Kush and OJ2 by Wiz Khalifa. I never would have thought that Wiz Khalifa could bring back the blog era in 2025. It just gave me some nostalgic feels when I heard this. He's got like a 21 track album and it flows very well. And this is some of the best rapping I've heard Wiz Khalifa do in a long time. It's very cohesive and he has a lot of replayability on here. And that was unexpected when I heard this project. Wiz also pulled out the nostalgia glasses when he did features with Currency or Smoke DZA and Chevy Woods, but he also gave me a lot of unexpected features when it came to Gunna and Lil Tyler. I never thought any of those songs would work with the newer artists, but it sounds good and it doesn't feel like he's trying to rap like them or rap with them. It just sounds like it's very cohesive and it just works. And that's what I enjoy about Kush and OJ2. And I had low expectations for that album, and it is really a solid and very accessible album in my eyes. 2025 is becoming one of those years where we're getting a lot of nostalgia acts and we're getting a lot of things crossing over, like the new Slick Rick album or the Clips that's about to be dropping pretty soon, and this Wiz Khalifa album. Like, what's old is kind of new again, and it feels good because we're bringing back lyrical ability. We're bringing back the fact that people are really trying to craft albums and not craft playlists for Spotify. Like, people are really putting together really good projects. And Kush and OJ2 is just one of those things that shows nostalgia still works. It shows that if when you really want to rap, you can rap. And it also shows that you can mix old and new and get something that sounds very different or you can get something that sounds very original and very well put together. And that's why those are my two most underrated albums, Kush and OJ2 by Wiz and The Good, the Bad, and the Dollar Menu by Rayvon. 2025 has been the year of the Drake Kendrick hangover. I am so over this beef right now, but seems to be what's taking up the news or the timeline all this year. Like, I get it. Drake and Kendrick, best. We can't wait for their music, but we're really missing out on some albums, or we're not talking about some albums that deserve to get album of the year. And seeing that Kendrick or Drake hasn't put out nothing yet that's an album of the year contender, let's think about some of the other albums that came out this year. I could have went completely opposite of what my pick is. I could have went with Saba from the Private Collection, or I could have went grimy with Westside Gunn's 12, or I could have just went with a new act, which is Rayvon, The Good, the Bad, and the Dollar Menu. All of those albums have gotten my attention. I feel like those are some of the best albums that we've gotten so far this year. But I went to something that was more replayable, more accessible, something that I am literally listening to every day. Larry June, 2 Chainz, The Alchemist, Life is Beautiful. That's my album of the year so far. Let's get into why this is my album of the year. Life is Beautiful blends high-level lyricism with replayable production. It's very accessible, it's motivational, and it's just plain enjoyable. Alchemist is the glue to this whole thing. And a lot of people not really looking at Alchemist as one of the top 5 all time. I'm starting to put Alchemist in that list. This album is so replayable. I've been listening to this since it came out in February. It's everything that I want in an album. You're getting top tier production with surprising chemistry and some of the best motivational music you've ever heard in your life. Think about it like this. Here's the formula. Alchemist with the solid production, Larry June with the motivational speaking, and then you got 2 Chainz that gives us nothing but the luxury part of everything. All of this is just wrapped up in this very great crafted album. I don't skip a song on this album. I listen to it from front to back when I put it on. And that's the tell of something that is great. And that's the tell of something that can be album of the year. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, man, you're not really listening to the lyrics. There's more lyrical albums out there. You're right. There are more lyrical albums out there. But guess what? They're not replayable. They're not something that I can listen to from front to back. As much as I love 12, I have some skips on that album because some of that shit is just out of the way. I love the Saba album, but I have to be in a certain mood to be able to listen to Saba and No ID. Like, it's not always the best. Like, sometimes it gets a little too Afrocentric for me, or sometimes it's just too black and I don't feel black enough. With Life is Beautiful, I get the motivation that I need. I understand what my goals are in life. And it all comes down to Alchemist being one of the best producers in the world. If you would have told me last year that this would be my album of the year, if you would have told me last year that this even was a thing, I would have laughed in your face. There's no way 2 Chainz and Larry June gonna get together and make one of the best albums of 2025. But right now, that is the album that I consistently listen to. It's the album I consistently go back to. It's stuff on there, it's songs on there I continuously quote. It's just one of the best crafted albums I've heard this year. What do you think? Did I hit everything on the head? Do you think I nailed it? Or do you think I'm a crazy person? Or do you just want to argue with everything that I just told you guys of all my picks? There's a conversation to be had in this in the comments. So let me know down below. That's it, man. That's everything I got. This was the Wednesday episode. Sunday, I'll get back into the news situation. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And if you want to continue to support, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you guys are giving me comments. Make sure you guys are doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. I appreciate the support. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on Sunday. Take care of yourself. Peace out.
Thank you for joining the STEM Society.